For thousands of years, people lived on different continents without knowing what existed beyond distant oceans. Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Americas developed their own civilizations, cultures, and traditions. But everything changed in the late 15th century. At that time, European nations were searching for new trade routes to Asia. Spices, silk, and precious goods were extremely valuable, and kings were eager to find faster ways to reach them. One man believed he had the answer. His name was Christopher Columbus. In 1492, Columbus sailed west across the Atlantic Ocean with 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. His goal was to reach Asia by crossing the ocean. After weeks of uncertainty and dangerous storms, land finally appeared on the horizon. However, Columbus had not reached Asia. Instead, he had arrived in a part of the world unknown to Europeans at the time. This event would become one of the most important turning points in human history. The world before Columbus. Long before Europeans arrived, millions of people already lived across the Americas. Great civilizations such as the Maya, Aztec, and Inca had built impressive cities, developed advanced farming systems, and created rich cultures. These societies had their own languages, religions, and traditions. They were not waiting to be discovered. They already had thriving civilizations. The arrival of European powers. News of Columbus's voyage spread rapidly throughout Europe. Soon, Spain, Portugal, England, France, and the Netherlands began sending explorers across the Atlantic. Each nation hoped to gain wealth, territory, and power. Explorers searched for gold, silver, and valuable resources. New colonies were established along the coasts and deep into the interior of the continents. The race to control the New World had begun. A clash of worlds. The meeting between Europeans and native peoples changed both worlds forever. New crops such as potatoes, tomatoes, corn, and cacao were introduced to Europe. Meanwhile, horses, cattle, wheat, and other goods arrived in the Americas. Historians call this exchange of plants, animals, and ideas the Columbian Exchange. But not all changes were positive. Diseases brought by Europeans spread rapidly among native populations. Many communities had no immunity and suffered devastating losses. Entire societies were transformed within a few generations. The rise of colonial empires. As colonies expanded, European nations grew richer and more powerful. Spain controlled vast territories in Central and South America. Britain established colonies along the eastern coast of North America. France built settlements in Canada and along major rivers. Competition for land and resources often led to conflict. Wars were fought not only between European powers but also between colonists and native nations. The struggle for control of the Americas lasted for centuries. The growth of new nations. Over time, many colonies began seeking independence. People demanded greater freedom and self-government. One of the most famous examples was the American Revolution. In 1776, the United States declared independence from Britain. Other countries across the Americas would later follow similar paths. Slowly, new nations emerged across the Western Hemisphere. A legacy that changed the world. The discovery of the Americas by Europeans reshaped global history. Trade routes expanded. Empires rose and fell. Cultures mixed and evolved. New countries were born. The modern world we know today was deeply influenced by these events. Yet the story is complex. It includes exploration and innovation, but also conquest, conflict, and human suffering. Understanding this history helps us understand how our world became connected. Conclusion. More than 500 years have passed since Columbus crossed the Atlantic Ocean. The voyage that began as a search for Asia ended up changing the destiny of continents. It connected distant civilizations, transformed economies, and reshaped the course of history forever. And even today, the impact of that journey can still be seen around the world. Globe showing America's history is not just about the past. It explains how our present was created, and where our future may lead.